I die with you, Donnie. Anything happens, I'm responsible.
Lefty Ruggiero doesn't spit those words out like a threat. He says them like a man reciting a truth carved into stone long before he ever walked the streets of New York. It's not anger, not desperation, it's acceptance. Because in the Mafia, when you vouch for someone, you don't put your reputation on the line, you put your life on the line. And Lefty Ruggiero, he put his life on the line for Donnie Brasco, a man he thought was loyal, a man he thought lived by the same code he did, a man he believed in more than his own blood. But Donnie wasn't who he claimed to be, and Lefty's belief in the code became the very thing that destroyed him. To understand the tragedy of Lefty Ruggiero, you can't start in New York. You have to start in Sicily, in a place where silence wasn't just a rule, it was survival. For centuries, Sicily was ruled by outsiders, Romans, Arabs, French, Spanish. Foreign powers came and went, and the locals learned one thing above all else. You don't trust the law, you don't trust authority. You trust your own people, and no one else. This is where Omertà was born, a code of silence, a code of loyalty, a code that said, we handle our business ourselves. Over generations, that instinct hardened into culture, then into tradition, then into religion. When the Mafia migrated to America, they brought Omertà with them, and men like Lefty Ruggiero treated it like scripture. Lefty wasn't kind of old school, he was the definition of old school. To him, Omertà wasn't negotiable, it wasn't flexible, it wasn't situational, it was the backbone of what made a man a man. You never talk to cops. You never betray your friends. You never question the family. And you never turn your back on a man you've put your name behind. Lefty didn't just follow these rules, he believed in them with the kind of devotion most people reserve for religion. And that's what made him vulnerable. Because Donnie Brasco, the man Lefty trusted, wasn't a wise guy. He was FBI agent Joe Pistone. From the moment Lefty met Donnie, he saw potential. He saw hunger. He saw someone who wanted in, and someone who respected the rules of the life. Lefty didn't have a lot going for him at that stage. He wasn't rich. He wasn't rising in the ranks. He wasn't feared like he once was. But he had knowledge. He had experience. He had identity. And when he brought Donnie under his wing, it wasn't just mentorship, it was sponsorship. In the Mafia, sponsoring someone means one thing. If he screws up, I take the fall. If he talks, I'm the one who dies. That wasn't metaphor, that was Mafia math. Lefty taught Donnie how to collect money, how to speak with respect, how to handle himself in front of bosses, how to navigate the politics of the street, how to carry himself like a real wise guy. To Lefty, Donnie wasn't just a student, he became the son he wished he'd had. The protege who actually listened, the one person in his life who made him feel valuable again. And all the while, Donnie was wired. Every conversation, every lesson, every confession, recorded for the FBI. Lefty wasn't just betrayed by an undercover agent. He was betrayed by the man he'd given his loyalty to, the one thing he valued above his own life. The brilliance and the tragedy of the Donnie Brasco operation is that Joe Pistone didn't have to outsmart the Mafia. He only had to let them trust him. Lefty didn't suspect Donnie because suspicion itself was prohibited. Doubting your protege was a sign of weakness. Questioning a man you vouched for was betrayal. Asking too many questions meant you lacked loyalty. Lefty was trapped by his own honor, and that's the ultimate irony. Omertà was supposed to protect men like Lefty. Instead, it was used against him like a weapon, because when Donnie was exposed, the Bonanno family didn't blame Donnie. They blamed the man who brought him in, Lefty. The message was simple. You vouched for him. Now you pay for it. In a world ruled by silence, someone always has to take the fall. And Lefty knew exactly who that someone was. Lefty wasn't a high-ranking boss. He wasn't living in luxury. He wasn't even respected the way he used to be. He was a soldier, a grinder, a man who gave everything and got almost nothing in return. He took prison sentences. He made money for others. He carried out hits. He did every dirty job without complaint. And what did he have to show for it? A rundown apartment, a broken family, a sick son, and a crew that saw him as expendable the moment things went wrong. Lefty gave the Mafia his entire life. But when the Donnie Brasco operation blew up, the Mafia didn't return the favor. They didn't protect him. They didn't defend him. They didn't stand by him. They pointed a finger, and Lefty didn't fight back. Because according to the code he worshipped, the family is always right, even when they're wrong. The most heartbreaking moment of Donnie Brasco isn't loud. There's no shouting, no panicking, no guns drawn, just a phone call. Lefty, there's a meeting. Come in. Lefty doesn't ask why. He doesn't need to. In the Mafia, there's a way they say it. A tone. A silence behind the words. Lefty knows it's over. He knows this is the moment he dies for the code. And what does he do? He removes his watch, his rings, his wallet, every piece of identity he's carried through decades of loyalty. He places them gently in a drawer, like a man putting away the last pieces of his life. He doesn't call Donnie, he doesn't run, he doesn't beg. He walks out the door like a soldier fulfilling his final duty, because Lefty Ruggiero would rather die with honor than live as a rat. Here's the tragedy behind the tragedy. In the film, Lefty walks to his death. In real life, the FBI intercepted him on the way. Not to arrest him, but to save him. They knew the Mafia had put a contract on his life because of Donnie. Lefty didn't resist. He didn't fight. He didn't beg the agents to protect him, because in his mind, he was already dead. The moment Donnie Brasco was exposed, Lefty's world ended. His code failed him. His loyalty failed him. And the family he died for? They never looked back. He spent the rest of his life in and out of prison, battling health problems, living quietly, a ghost of the man who once believed that loyalty meant something. Henry Hill broke Omertà to survive. Lefty upheld Omertà and suffered because of it. Henry lived but lost his identity. Lefty kept his identity but lost everything else. That's the cruel truth of the Mafia's code of silence. It promises loyalty, but it destroys the loyal. It promises honor, but it punishes the honorable. It promises protection, but it kills the men who believe in it the most. Lefty Ruggiero didn't break Omertà. Omertà broke him.